My name, again, if you forgot from just yesterday, is Pat Pradit. And I wanted to tell you a little something about me that you might not know. I've really only done two things in my career as an adult. Sure, when I was in high school, I lifeguarded for a couple years, but that didn't count. Other than that, I've only done two things. And the two things are teach for 13 years, middle school and high school, special ed, science, and computer science, not all at the same time. And middle school was definitely the hardest. And in middle school, I taught 8th grade, by the way. Of middle school, 8th grade I don't think was the hardest grade. 7th grade was definitely the hardest. I remember walking into a 7th grade room. Yeah, so if you're a 7th grade teacher out there, bless your heart. Bless your heart. But I remember walking into a 7th grade classroom to sub just to cover for a teacher at the last second. Walked in, the kids were talking. I sat down at the desk. They were just talking. They were oblivious. They didn't even know I was in there. And I just thought, oh, what if I just don't say anything? How long could this go? Until they look at me and are like, so is education going to happen? They went on for 30 minutes. And you know what? I was fine with that because I was just covering for the teacher. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I was fine with that. But that just amazed me, and I was like, I'm so glad I don't teach 7th grade. So I moved to the high school at some point, and this is actually the very last class I ever taught. 7th period AP Computer Science, school year 2012-2013, Springbrook High School, Silver Spring, Maryland. And this class reflected, 7, 8 years of program building. For many of you teachers out there, for many of you who've been teachers, you know what it's like to program build around computer science, advocating, recruiting students, getting administrator buy-in, et cetera, purchasing equipment. And so this class really represented all I was striving for at this school. An upper level class that was large. This was one of 2 AP computer science classes, and at that time we only had AP CSA. But not only that, but students of all different ages, races, and genders taking computer science. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing, a class that totally represented the school. An interesting note about this class, there were a lot of athletes who actually took computer science that year, and almost every single athlete was a girl. Look at that. They're wearing their uniforms in front, so it was amazing. A class that really broke stereotypes. There was one particular student, his name was Neiman. Neiman and I connected in on LinkedIn a while ago, and Neiman told me about the things that he was up to, and I was super proud of him. I just wanted to tell him that, hey, Neiman, I'm proud of you, good job. And you know, he reflected on his experience at Springbrook High School and told me that he just really appreciated the computer science classes that we offered there. Same thing happens all over the nation in the classrooms that you might teach in, that you might monitor, that you might coach, the classrooms that you all might be setting up through your work as a regional organization, as a national organization, etc. But really, my why in the end has always been kids like Neiman, changing their lives. I can't remember if there was a speaker who said something about saving lives. I don't know, was that Michelle? I don't know. It was someone talking about how we're literally kind of saving lives when we're teaching computer science. And I feel the same way, and this is why I do what I do. By the way, if you do get to reach out to people that you've maybe mentored in the past or students that you've taught, tell them that you're proud of them. It's a very special thing for them to hear that. So today we are going to end our CSEdCon experience with a panel about students. And so I want to, let's clap. Thank you. I want to bring up to the stage our 3 students, starting with Jack Senovic. Jack, come on up to the stage. Jack is from Omaha, Nebraska. Jack is a freshman in college right now. at a school that you might have heard of. It's called Harvard, something like that. Jasmine Fields from Digital Pioneers Academy. Jasmine is in the 10th grade, as well as Karan Owens from Digital Pioneers Academy as well, whom you saw in the keynote. So it's wonderful to bring back students from Digital Pioneers Academy. They are nervous, folks. You know how it is. So if we could give them one more round of applause. So I have committed to providing you all an experience that you've never had before. I'm going to try a lot of different things with this student panel, and maybe a lot of different things with a panel in general, because we want to end off CSEdCon with a bang. So we're actually going to start with a game. You all ready? Okay, this game is called Speed Round. And I have 10 questions for them. They're all going to answer the question. They're going to answer the question as fast as possible, and we're going to try to get through this in 90 seconds, okay? If they get through it in 90 seconds, they will get a prize. If they don't get through it in 90 seconds, they will get a prize. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
And let's start the timer. Favorite recreational activity?
Ping pong.
Basketball.
Soccer.
Who inspires you?
My mom.
My mom as well.
Artists and musicians.
Invisibility or the ability to read minds?
Read minds.
Read minds.
Invisibility.
Favorite season?
Fall.
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 Place you most want to travel to?
New Zealand.
Japan.
Korea.
Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
No.
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 Fill in the blank. Computer science is?
Awesome.
Great.
Informative.
Oh. Last song you heard or downloaded?
Dynamite.
Frame of mind.
Beautiful days.
All right. Last Halloween costume?
Vampire.
Ninja Turtle.
I do not remember.
You don't want to say. That's what it is, actually. All right. And this last question, we have the time now. We got through 9, so I'm going to take my time with this because they don't even know what question I'm going to ask. Funniest face you can make?
I can't.
Karan. All right. Okay, give them a round of applause. Many seconds to spare. Good job. So, we're going to ask some questions, and we're going to start off with Karan and Jasmine. Karan and Jasmine, we learned a lot about your school, Digital Pioneers, yesterday. What is your favorite thing about the school? Don't worry, your principal's right there, but just pretend that she's not there, all right?
Okay. My favorite thing is to be able to experience computer science like every day, because like as you go more and more into like how common it is around you, you get to like further appreciate the fact that you could potentially manage any technology that from now in the future.
That's cool. Thanks, Karan.
I guess I like how it was the main computer science focused school that I saw first, and how interactive the teachers are with the students.
Cool. All right. And Jack, you were recommended for this panel because of your service organization. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so my service organization I co-founded in 2019 called Just Imagine, and since then we've advocated for STEM and social emotional learning, and in particular we've focused on CS as that's a big part of STEM and CS legislative advocacy.
All right. Thank you, Jack. That's really cool. What was it called again? Just
Imagine.
Just Imagine. Okay, Just Imagine. Very good. Thank you for that help in Nebraska. If you don't know, Jack was super helpful in getting that graduation requirement passed in Nebraska. He even focused on a lot of the, what were they, senators or representatives that had maybe were not seeing how important it was, or there were certain challenges.
Yeah, so our group organized a conference back when this bill was being considered earlier in the year, and we talked with state senators, especially ones who had vocalized opposition for the bill, and really tried to help them understand from a student perspective why CS education is so important for us and why we feel and are so excited now that Nebraska has made CS a graduation requirement.
Woo! So, Jack, I know you told me that you had a question for Karan and Jasmine, actually. So you want to ask it?
Yeah, I'd love to. So, Karan and Jasmine, I'm wondering, my school didn't have as many computer science classes as yours in high school. And so I'm curious, what's that been like taking so many computer science classes, and have you enjoyed it?
Well, having so many, like, for such a long time, like, it gives you more experience, of course, into, like, how your livelihood and, like, understanding computer science would be. And it's definitely a good opportunity for jobs and to be employed.
I would say that I don't know, I guess it's pretty good having like multiple years of CS because it helped me realize like how much tech is involved in everything than what I thought it was before.
Awesome, awesome. I actually do have a surprise, another surprise up my sleeve here, folks. I told you this would be the most non-traditional student panel you've ever seen. When was the last time you saw students with their parents? Right, on a panel, right? So you know what? We are going to bring up Karan and Jasmine's parents. So I want to introduce Simone Scott. Karan Owens' mom, Simone Scott, and as well, LaTanya Fields, Jasmine's mom. Thank you. You know what's interesting? Both LaTanya and LaTanya and Simone were talking about this very thing, the fact that parents' voices need to be heard. And I know that I was in a session yesterday as well, and you're out there somewhere, and someone mentioned to me, oh yes, that's right, it was a roundtable discussion that parents, it was Callista Chen from Reboot Representation saying that, we need to hear more from parents. So I thought, you know what, I think we can arrange that. So let me ask these parents something. Can you tell me a little bit more about where you all are from and your neighborhoods? Let's start with Simone.
Yes, so we reside in Ward 7 and 8. Their education is actually in Ward 6, but we reside in 7 and 8. And in our district, that is the most underserved and communities. And so our communities are definitely plagued with gun violence, juvenile suicide, and homicide as well. So that is definitely a part of our community and everyday life.
Yeah, thank you, Simone. LaTanya?
To piggyback on what she's saying, because I am from Ward 8, and the same thing that's plagued in Ward 7 is also a part of Ward 8. The challenges is just being able to comfortably get up, leave home to go to work, and trusting that when my child gets up, my child is making it safely to school and back at home.
And if I can piggyback on that, I believe that it's important to understand and hear the numbers. The wealth gap in our communities from a Caucasian family to an African American family is $68,000 plus. That is excruciating, difficult to come from above that. Not only that, but Ward 7 and 8 are the least funded within our entire budget of district funds. We only receive about 4% of the total budget. And so for us, just getting our kids to school is a challenge. We do not have accessibility to quality education east of the river. And so we have what is called the lottery. And so we have the option to almost like a waitlisting type of thing to get our kids to quality education. Mm-hmm. And so therefore they actually have to be bused or transported from our communities into other communities in order to even gain the opportunities.
Thank you for giving us that context. That's really important. For those who don't know, the Washington, D.C. is split into multiple wards, wards 1 through 8. Wards 7 and 8 are east of the Anacostia, I believe. Yeah, so there's the Anacostia River, wards 7 and 8, otherwise known as Southeast D.C. Simone and Latanya, why did you choose a computer science focused school for your kids?
I'll take that first. The main important thing that I found as a parent was to listen to my child. Although I had my own ideas and thoughts about what my goals were for him, I thought it was important to enrich him with what he actually wanted to do. And so seeing how immersed he was with computer science and how much he thrives off of it, I felt that it was important to provide that stability and that opportunity in order for him to truly maximize his limitless potential. And at that time, we were also facing home security. And so I wanted to ensure that we found a stable home for him, not just to thrive, but to also graduate. And for him, DPA is our school.
Thank you. Thank you. Tanya?
I chose DPA because of the principal, Miss Ashton.
Absolutely.
When I first met Miss Ashton, when she was promoting the school, the biggest phrases or information that she shared with us was that I and my staff are going to know your kids personally by name. And you cannot tell me a lot of these schools and these teachers and administrators know their kids by name, but Miss Ashton does. The teachers there know the kids by name. They know the kids' personalities. They know the parents of the kids. And that also is what sold me as well for DPA.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm sorry, and if I may, the one thing that also was serving the whole child. That was important, especially at that moment for us. I wanted to make sure that not only was he enriched with the things that he needed and lacked, but I also got an opportunity to have resources provided to me in order to be better in a position to support and help him.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's just reality, right? It's not just about the students, it's about the whole family. And it's so awesome to have a school like DPA in that community. I have a question for all three kids. This is for all three of you. I want you to imagine a kid in your school, university freshman, and let's imagine for Karan and Jasmine, a kid in your neighborhood who doesn't go to DPA, but they could take a computer science class at their school. They're lucky enough to have a computer science course in their school. What would you say to these colleagues, these kids, to get them to try their first computer science experience? Jack?
I think I would say, one thing is obviously learning computer science, you'll learn coding, but I think there's some not so obvious things that you'll learn, like the problem solving and creative thinking. And really, that's so important for students to learn. So I would tell them that. I'd tell them too, someone might think you should only take computer science if you're interested in a tech career, but right now computer science is so important for so many different careers. And it's becoming really widespread in the ways that computer science and technology are applied in different careers in our everyday lives. So I think understanding just the increasing importance of computer science would also help students, give them that extra push to take a computer science class.
Okay, now before we go to Karan and Jasmine, now that was a good answer, Jack. I can't imagine you giving that to another, 18-year-old or 19-year-old. You'd probably say it in a different way, right?
At university, I don't know, maybe though.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Karan, Jasmine, I want you to literally imagine another 10th grader in your neighborhood, same age. What would you say to them? Normal human words. Normal kid words.
Me or you? I'd say just like there's so many interesting things in computer science that aren't I feel like people think of computer science as just sitting down, staring at a black screen full of text, and just typing. Sometimes it's not just that. There are so many departments and different small parts that you could introduce someone to, and not just the coding part. And maybe people would get interested when they learn the more various fields. Yeah.
Thanks, Karan. Thank you. Jasmine?
I guess I would say to just try it out and see if they like it, because I don't think I could force somebody to do it. I don't know. I'd probably show them some YouTube videos that I watch of people like coding stuff into video games that I play. So.
Okay, you said show them videos that you've seen and talk about video game setups? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like people coding stuff into video games I play, like mods and stuff.
So you watch videos of people coding video games?
Yeah.
Is this? I didn't know that. Okay, look, okay. I didn't know this was so first off, just a couple years ago, I didn't know it was a thing to watch videos of other people playing video games. All right?
Yeah.
Now, Jasmine is telling me that there's such a thing as watching videos of other people code video games. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, I gotta get with the times.
Maybe one thing I'll add on too is I think computer science is so intimidating, and I've even seen people who don't want to take it because they think they're not capable of it. So I think one last thing is just tell students, like, you got this. It's okay to try something new, and you've probably got the support in place, and your educators want you to succeed. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Parents, same thing. Imagine another parent, a parent obviously that doesn't have a kid at DPA, and they're in some other high school, and there's probably hopefully some opportunity to learn computer science at the high school. What would you say to the parent to get their kid to take their first computer science experience?
I think my question would be, why not? I feel that a lot of the times we found ourselves within the confounds of things that we feel limit us, or what Jack was saying, things that intimidate us or maybe take a glimpse of our insecurities. And a lot of what I was saying as far as like the deficit of that academic and wealth gap that plays a part in parents as well. I know for me, really quickly, it was difficult at some point for me to do help Karan's homework because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I found it was important. I started to go to the school and start asking the teachers, like, do y'all do like parent tutoring? Because I don't know if his homework is right. I don't know. So, but what I will tell a parent is, if you want your child to succeed like you say you do, then why not? Give them that opportunity to do just that. And I think that they will surprise themselves and surprise you too.
Okay, thank you, Simone. LaTanya?
It's a bridge for me. It's a bridge that is from yesterday to the event we are sitting at today, for what we take from today and use for tomorrow. So I think having computer science in every school, no matter what the financial obligations may be, the challenges with the verbiage of words when it comes to computer science, because that word computer science is intimidating.
Yeah, we were talking about that before.
It's very intimidating.
Yeah.
And it makes a person think, well, how much is included in this? How much will I be able to obtain? How much of it am I going to really use? So instead of just keeping it book text, you have to take your book text and combine it with the actual product. And once the kids start seeing the product of it, then they'll see, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. Now I can see, I could code this particular program so I can make this robot do this.
Yeah.
So being able to take the books, put them down, or lay them side by side by building of a robot, and then they see the end product, bring them together, and then they won't be so intimidated.
Yeah. Yeah. Give her a round of applause. I want to connect that point to what I heard yesterday on the state chiefs panel. I think one of the state chiefs said, all you have to do is bring them to an elementary school classroom and show them like computer science happening like in an unplugged way. And that's a great way to get people on board as well. That kind of hands-on learning.
Can I just say one more thing?
Please.
Miss Moshe showed us that when we first met her in school.
Yes.
Okay.
Because she had an actual robot there for the kids to see that she and some of her other students had actually put together.
That's actually funny you say that, because I remember that all of the kids were surrounded by the table. They had just the robots, they had all type of just electronics for the kids, and I just saw them like light up. It was just like, it was amazing. And so to piggyback off of that, while we have your attention, I would just like to say that I would love to see computer science as the platform to provide whole services, not just for the child, but for the family. As you are asking and seeking for funding, and as Jack has his business as well as the initiative for computer science being a requirement for graduation, I feel that a way to gain more engagement is to meet not just the child where they are, but to meet the parent where they are. And a lot of the times, just what she was saying as far as intimidation, it goes for the parents as well. Just hearing the word computer and then science connected to that, it can, in a sense, make a lot of people in communities like ours question if they are even eligible, if they're even able to do that. And so just hearing the terms makes them feel as though that is something that just doesn't qualify for them. And I feel that if you gain more awareness and connection to that, I think that you will begin to see a lot more parents invested in this particular initiative.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I know that Karan actually had a question for the audience. Yes, so get ready. Karan needs to plan his future, and so he wants your help. And so we have 4 mic runners out there. All you have to do is raise your hand, and you can answer Karan's question, and we can take a couple answers to Karan's question, brief answers. Karan, what's your question for the audience?
As I prepare for my future by enhancing my CS skills, what is a key piece of advice I could get to make sure I'm more successful later on?
And I can't see, so mic runners, you'll just give it to someone, they can just start talking.
All right, I got it. Hey, Karan. First of all, very impressed by you all and proud of you. Computer science can go a lot of different ways in a lot of different places. Over here, other side. Other side. Out here in the back.
There he is, right in the light.
Computer science can go a lot of different places. There's a word in Japanese, I think it's ikigai. It says find something that will pay you well, is connected to things you're passionate about, is of service to your community. What was the fourth one? Anybody know the fourth one? I forget. But find a place where computer science meets those multitude of goals, not just, I'm going to go program and make some money. Find things that are also service to your community and something that you're connected to and passionate about.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Other advice, keep it coming.
Okay, I got one over here. Hi. So, having taught computer science for a very long time, my advice to you is remember that the ideas at the heart of computer science are there because they work to help you overcome difficult things. So don't forget persistence. It's not just computer science, all things in life. Learning from failure, all things in life. Trying something even if you don't know yet if it's right, all things in life. So the skills that you're learning that are helping you create these programs and these things that no one else has done because they came from your brain, they will also help you create programs and things and companies and wealth and all sorts of things that you might not have known to try, but you can if you have those skills.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm over here. I think this is applicable across the spectrum of life in general. I've always been a no is not the right answer person. If somebody presents you with an opportunity, say yes, because those opportunities then can lead to other opportunities. So don't sell yourself short, even if you're unsure of something. Keep persisting, love that word, and moving forward, and don't say no to these opportunities that could just enrich your own life, not just career-wise, but just life-wise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. We're gonna, actually, I know, Jack, you had some advice for Karan as well that you wanted to give, right?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think earlier we talked about just how college is different from high school and computer science. And one thing I'll say right off the bat is I think that you're going to be so prepared for computer science in college, both of you, just having so much computer science coursework. That's amazing. And I think, college can be really intimidating. It can be scary, but I think as long as, you put in the effort, you utilize the resources around you, you're going to do so well. So you got this.
Thank you.
Latanya, I saw you put the mic to your mouth.
No, I was saying thank you.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just telling them thank you.
Yeah.
And actually, let me just say right quick, and then I'm going to get off your
Because mothers can't
stage.
help but give advice, right, Latanya?
I'm not giving no advice. I'm just saying thank you for this opportunity
Absolutely.
to be a part of this experience for CS.
Actually, I was gonna ask you two parents the same thing, but I'll ask it to all the students so far because they've actually, they've attended some sessions, they've sauntered around. This is a very new experience for kids. The fact that adults get together to plot and scheme about how to get more kids like you to take computer science is probably like, what? I didn't know this was a thing. So my question for all you all is what do you think about the CSEdCon experience so far? What do you think about CSEdCon, these folks getting together, the sessions that you've attended? Jack, you want to start?
Sure. I mean, I definitely will take the Florida weather over the Boston weather. But, besides that, I've really loved it. I've been able to meet so many incredible people and hear about so many different ideas within computer science and education that I really hadn't heard before. And that's been so exciting to me. So thank you so much for the invite. It's really been an honor.
Cool.
I think it's been really cool to just come and hear what you guys have to say about it and make decisions about it. So yeah, I just think it's neat.
Thanks, Jonathan.
It's a good experience to get to have some sort of dive into the future and what I'll be doing. So getting used to it is a good part of it.
Thanks, Karan. Parents?
This was an amazing experience because as an engaged parent, just being able to see what he's been doing, what you guys are doing in DPA with our scholars. They had an opportunity to connect with you guys over the summer. And for me, having you guys were able to get legislative here, that's impressive. So that's amazing. But just having a room full of individuals who are for the same goal is amazing. And also to hear more about what you guys have planned for our kids. But essentially for me, as Karan's question, is just how do I support him more effectively and proficiently? And with that, I was able to gain a lot more with that. But most importantly is what does his future look like? And what can that look like for us, despite where we come from or what our daily challenges are? And what does employment or business ownership look like for our kids? And I know in DC we have something like the Marion Barry Summer Youth Program. And so I would love to see more of you guys holding spaces like that in all of our communities for all of our scholars. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Very well said. I don't think I can top that.
You're so crazy.
I don't think I can top that.
You really
I
can,
really
though.
don't. Okay, so I'm not even going to try to top that. But what I can say is I really appreciated being able to sit in the audience, to be a part of this event, but to get to hear other cities' challenges and how they've overcome them. And so that way we can also take that back to DC to help with our families and the scholars and soon to be programmers and designers and manufacturers and next Google personnels and everything like that. But just remember, you can also do some internships and come to DC.
Yes,
And
come to
get some
DC.
students from DC, you know, to help broaden their range and spectrum of the CS world. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna continue rolling with this theme of focusing on you all. Specifically in the audience, we have curriculum and professional learning providers. In fact, let's do an experiment here. Raise your hand if you are involved in the creation of curriculum. Okay. And raise your hand, it could be the same person, if you're involved in providing professional learning in some way. Okay, a whole lot of people. Okay, so you're basically speaking to the entire audience here. The question for you all, panelists, what would you want to tell the people who write the lessons your teachers use to teach you with and train your teachers? What would you want to tell them? What advice you want to give them? What recommendations? What do you want from them? Anyone can start.
Okay, perfect. I guess first of all, I just want to say thank you. What you're doing is so important, and really for students like us, we're so appreciative of what you're doing. So thank you so much. I think I would say two things. So first of all, as far as the teacher training, I think one of the most important things in any computer science classroom, because it can be so intimidating for students, is just a supportive environment. So considering the big picture, the social emotional learning aspect of computer science, I think is really crucial. I think the second thing would be, especially somewhere like Nebraska where there isn't as big of a technology focus, and especially in rural areas, it can be harder for students to see computer science in their lives, or it might feel sort of distant. And so I think showing students the applications of computer science, not just in tech, but really in everyday life, and how many careers and areas use computer science, is something that might be really helpful to help students in their curriculum make computer science feel more personal to them and less distant.
Thank you, Jack. Jasmine?
I don't know, just make it more fun.
I'd say it's very important to keep the work that we're doing more just make it fun so that no one has to feel like they're doing a job or like they're being forced to do something. And for the teachers, just make sure you're liking what you're doing. None of us want to do anything we don't want to, so just
Yeah, help the teachers like what they're doing. Yeah, we all want teachers like that. That's true, Karan. Let's give them all a round of applause. And let's end with the parents answering the same question. What would you like to tell the curriculum providers and the professional learning providers?
Curriculum-based, make it less technical with words. Make it so that it's transparent between the student and yourself. They will learn the technical as they advance on, but first start it off with transparency and break it down to the level in which they understand it.
Thank you, LaTanya. Thank you.
Really quickly, I would just say, again, thank you. This is very important for our family, for everyone who's sitting up here. And I think that incoherently we're speaking for parents who are not even here. And I feel what I would leave you with is, again, addressing the whole child. Understanding that the policies and legislative processes that you're putting on the table, it goes a little bit beyond computer science. Jack was talking about something as far as social emotional learning. That's important. Our kids need that. When it comes to mental health, our kids need that. When it comes to having more resources, and I know Mache was speaking about that, allowing these professionals, some who may be retired, having them come back and help the teachers so that it's not so much for the teachers' responsibilities to do everything, but give them some leeway and some room to breathe, okay? And to ignite that passion. Because I feel like when teachers are overwhelmed, they're stressed, they are using their own resources to fund things, as well as getting to know each child and everything that's going on with the families. I just think it's important that you see all of the full spectrum of what you guys are doing, not just computer science, because the other things are important as well in order for us to just close some of the gaps that are happening with our scholars and with our communities.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Simone. Let's give them another round of applause. And if I could have a gift. They passed the test of the speed round. So students, I do have some gifts for you. We also have some special gifts in there from our friends at Roblox.
Yes.
You see
Thank you.
Jasmine's face?
Wow.
Yeah. So we wanted to give that to you, and I just wanted
I knew you were going to look at it immediately.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again. Thank you again. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.